Welcome back to the Elise Sirkov podcast, where we help women in perimenopause and menopause thrive unapologetically from the inside out. All right, I get a lot of questions on this. I think when I travel, that's when my stories really blow up because people want to know what I'm eating, what I'm doing, and do I really maintain the same habits of intention when I'm traveling as I do as I am when I'm home? The answer is fuck yes. And that took me so long to get to. So I want to really focus today on how do you travel and not fuck up your progress? All right, so let's back up a little bit. I will say, I've said this many times, it took me 4 fucking years. Oh my God, I'm dropping F bombs today. It took me 4 fucking years to stop eating like an asshole on the weekends because weekends were always my weakest link. And I had the same mentality when I went away. It was like, I'm going to basically starve myself and look really good for when I go away. And then I'm going to come back and not fit into anything because I'm going to eat my fucking face off and drink like a fish. And that served me really well until it just didn't anymore. And quite frankly, I was really tired of coming home and always feeling bloated and uncomfortable and, like, for lack of a better word, just fat. I felt like I couldn't fit into any of my clothes anymore. And I was like, just really tired of being on that like hamster wheel of like starting, stopping, starting, stopping. And so I like to say that right now I really do eat intentionally 365 days a year, whether it is a holiday, a birthday. It doesn't really matter. In fact, a couple years ago, I decided on my birthday, I wanted to just kind of like stop going out for lunch because I felt like everybody wanted to like take me out and do things on my birthday. It was like, here's a special breakfast and here's this for lunch and gotta go for dinner with the kids and here's all your favorite foods. And I just always felt really sick and horrible. And I thought, it's my birthday. I want to feel really great. And so I was like, I want my own breakfast. I want my own lunch. Give me a nice, fun dinner and like a cupcake. And I'm so happy because I don't want to wake up in the morning feeling like crap, which is one of the reasons I gave up wine and a lot of other alcohols and shitty behavior that I did in the past. So when I travel, it is no different. Now, for me, I have a background of more over exercising to compensate for extra food. So for me in the past, going on traveling for me or going on vacation or holidays was met with a little bit of anxiety because I was very concerned about getting my workouts in. And that's one of the reasons why I loved running, because running I could do anywhere. I just had to pack good shoes and a sports bra and I could run anywhere. And that's actually was one of my favorite things to do. I did it in Mexico, I did it in Jamaica. I did it when we were visiting family throughout the US. Like I just, I was able to kind of see my surroundings, the places I was at by running. And it was like really easy. Right. But then I would go and eat my face off. And so that didn't really that didn't really do anything for me. So in the past like 5, 6 years, I've really dialed in my nutrition. And I say I do eat the same on Monday as I do on Saturday. And so when I travel, these are my tips. Now, this is what I do. I'm not saying you have to do it, but I do gift most, if not all, of our women with a shaker cup when they join the program at FFWE because I want them to have the same success and ease of everyday life with travel that I do. So when I travel, I pack some staples. And the very first thing I take is my shaker cup and I bring protein powder and I'm good to go. And I can pretty much have that anywhere at the airport, every day that I'm traveling. I will start off the day with my protein shake. And that way I'm getting in 30 grams of protein right off the bat. So let me back up a little bit. This is what we call like our daily nutritional commitments or DNCs. And these are habits or foods, behaviors of food that are going to keep us mostly on track. Okay. So we use this a lot in our community, which are DNCs. So, like, what do you need in terms of nutrition or nutritional behaviors to keep you mostly on track? I don't need you to be perfect, mostly on track. And then for the rest, you do your best. And so for most of our clients, I'll have them pick about 3 to 5 minimum that they can work on. And it might be different when they're on vacation versus when they're home. So for example, some of our clients will say like 10,000 steps a day is one of their DNCs. Protein at every meal might be one. Getting organized with their food, tracking their food for the next day. Meal prep might be one. Getting in a workout might be one. Getting 8 hours sleep might be one. I had a client who said daily bath was one. Journaling. So it's like, what do you need to do? You know you best. So for me, it is not just protein in every meal because I can go a meal without protein. And I'm going to be totally fine, but I cannot go. I shouldn't say I can't. I can. I choose not to go for breakfast without minimum 30 grams of protein. So mornings for me, my breakfast, which I mean, if you know my mom or you've ever spoken to her, she'll tell you I hated breakfast as a kid. Hated it, but mostly because I had so many gut issues. Everything bothered me. But I digress. I will have minimum 30 grams. I front load protein in the morning. So typically my protein is anywhere from like 50, probably about 50 grams of protein in the morning on a good day. But when I'm traveling, the minimum is 30. And I can do that myself with my little protein, my protein powder, and my naked shake. So I just add water to my cup, add some protein, and then shake it, and I'm good to go. I actually add my creatine as well. So as long as I have that start to the day, I know that my blood sugar regulation is going to be better for the whole day because I had that hit of protein in the morning. Plus, if I'm traveling and let's say we're at a buffet, let's say I'm with the kids, I'll still have that protein shake and then I'll add some eggs, some fruit. If they have like gluten-free bread or pancakes, if not, I'll have some banana, just something. But I will always take my shaker cup, and my kids always know where we're sitting because my green shaker cup is like on the table. So they know it's there. But I am gluten free and I am dairy free. So I can't always find something for me to eat. Plus, I don't want to go on the assumption that I'm going to find food anywhere. And I encourage you to do the same. Even if you're someone who's like, I like to have my egg whites and I like to have my yogurt and that gives me my protein. What if they didn't have yogurt? What if there was a long line at the buffet and you chose not to go? Like, what are you going to do instead? So for me, it's a DNC. So I will bring that with me, and I will then complement that however I can be. Another DNC is like protein at lunch as well, but not necessarily dinner. So if I'm going to go out, yeah, last week I was traveling and I went with some friends and we went for dinner and I got a pizza, and so it's mostly carbs and it was delicious. Everything's fine. Nothing's going to change in my life because I didn't have protein at dinner. I'm not going to hit my protein goal, but that's okay because for the rest, I'm going to do my best. For the longest time, it was 10,000 steps a day as a DNC for me. But more recently now, it's not because I get enough steps in most days of the week that I don't care as much if I don't get as many in. However, when I am on vacation, so not necessarily traveling for work, but on vacation, getting those steps in is also going to become a DNC for me because it is really easy to do. And especially if you do it after your meals, and really getting that insulin sensitivity up after your meals is going to make a huge difference. So that's the first thing for me. The other thing is alcohol. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm not a big alcohol drinker anymore, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy the odd tequila or margarita or espresso martinis are my new favorite thing. So what I do is I will not have 2 days in a row of drinking. So if I have a glass or two of tequila or an espresso martini one night, I'm not going to have anything the next day and then go again the next day. That's going to be a DNC for me. The other thing that is more newer to me is that I leave a little bit of food on my plate. And this is because as you travel, there's always so much food. And I have a tendency to overeat. It's how I was raised. We had to eat everything on our plates, right? If you weren't full, then you were going to be hungry. And so for me, I like to leave the table not full. That's a really big DNC for me. I am super uncomfortable. It's actually a little bit of a trigger for me if I leave the table full. It puts me back into that like childhood growing up and always feeling like if I wasn't full, I'd be hungry and then panic would set in. So for me, when I travel, one thing I really try hard to do is like, hey, can I take this to go and have it later or leave it? Like, I don't, I'm not going to do myself any favors by eating foods that are not going to sit well with me. So I will try to leave a little bit on my plate or leave not full. That's really hard to do. So I have to slow the meal down 100%. And then the other DNC for me is it used to be getting in training. So if I'm on vacation with the kids, I try to train every other day. That isn't even the case anymore because where I am right now in my physique, I can go a week without training and it's not going to really change anything. So I like to say that when I'm traveling or when I'm home, I'm always, mostly intentional with a little bit of flexibility. And that's what we got from our program. It's how I designed our guaranteed results with our 4-function formula. And part of that is just like structured flexibility. I have a lot of structure in my nutrition and my food behaviors, but I have flexibility as well because I want to be able to have ice cream with my kids or stop for ice cream with friends. I want to be able to have pizza, but I also want to feel really comfortable in my clothes. And so I don't want to overeat, but I want to be intentional. And I think that's really important as you're traveling. And something that I used to do is flip off that switch of intentionality. Like I would just always just kind of go balls to the wall crazy. And so now when I travel, it's like intention is still that switch is on. It's like, would I be doing this at home? because you're going to have to face yourself in the mirror. When you get home, you're going to have to look in the mirror and shit's going to count. And if you haven't heard that episode, then I encourage you to go ahead and listen to that, the Everything Counts episode. But it does. So all those good decisions or decisions that are with intention in your DNCs or that are going to help you is going to show up at the end of your travel. And because I travel a lot now for work, it's also that much more important that I don't go balls to the wall. I used to like go away once a year with the kids, and yeah, it was a little bit different. But now I travel like every 4 to 6 weeks on average, especially in the fall and the spring. Summer's a little bit different; it's more relaxed. Kids are away. We might do like more day trips and stuff, but this is pretty much my life, and I eat kind of the same 365 days a year. Yeah, it's a little bit boring, but it keeps me strong, keeps my energy balanced, keeps my physique where I want it to be. And I don't feel like I'm missing out anymore. So I encourage you to create your own daily nutritional commitments or your DNCs and just think about 3 to 5 things, write them down, and you might need to adjust those. If you're traveling, you might need to adjust those if life gets super lifey. It's like, what is the bare minimum? And the rest, honestly, just do your best. Until the next time, I hope this episode lands well for you. Go ahead and share it with me on social. Tag me. Let me know how it lands. Leave me a review. I will drop all the links below. Until the next time.